gorgeous! Today is going to be another installment in What I'm Packing for Italy series, and today I want to share with you what is in my carry-on. Now I've got, again, a little cheat sheet here with some tips that I want to make sure to pass along. Now when it comes to my carry-on, which I'm going to show you in a minute what it looks like, and I do apologize for the lighting because I'm actually going to be filming it in my guest room where I have everything set up for. That's where I like to pack. I like to pack in a room that's not my bedroom because I feel like I don't want to, when I walk into my bedroom, I want it to just to be serene, and I'm the kind of person that likes to pack way ahead of time so that I'm really kind of organized and ready to go. So I like to do it in a different room, and in our old house, I didn't have a spare bedroom, so I just used to do it in my makeup room. I used to lay everything out. I used to and this is another tip which I'll share with you when I get in the room. If you're gonna put your suitcase on the bed, make sure you clean your suitcase. Like, make sure you clean the feet and everything, because you don't want to put something dirty on top of your bed. I know that you don't have to, you don't need me to tell you that, but I just figured I'd pass that along. Okay, so there's a few things I keep in mind for what's going to go in my carry-on. Number one is breakables. Now for me, my makeup is very important that it's in my carry-on, because a lot of times, see, when it comes to a carry-on, I'm the one handling it, so I'm not going to throw it anywhere. And when it comes to makeup, I cannot tell you, I've learned to do this from a friend of mine, because I cannot tell you how many times my compact makeup has been shattered. In fact, one time I went to California and I packed my makeup, and I opened it, and my Makeup Forever foundation was just like, the top of it was like broken off, and my entire makeup bag was just covered in liquid foundation. So what I like to do is keep it in my carry-on. That way I know it's being well taken care of. It's not being thrown around all over the place. It's nice and safe. So that's important to me, because like, I don't want my makeup to be broken. Number two, if you have any glass items or any items that you need to bring with you, then you need to put that into your carry-on, because again, even though, which I will share with you in my next video when it comes to my actual suitcase, even if you might have like a hard case, a lot of times things can break. So my makeup mirror, and I usually bring candles or something to my mom for when I go over there, and I like to pack those in my carry-on as well. You just want to make sure you don't overpack, because it's really important that your bag is not overweight or too big, because otherwise it's not going to be able to fit overhead in the overhead compartment, and you're going to end up having to check it anyway. So keep that in mind as well. And then the last sort of two things I wanted to talk to you about, to let you know that I like to keep in my carry-on bag, is something warm and comfy. Now, even if you travel in the middle of summer, which I'm going to be doing, it's going to be really hot when we travel, I promise you that 9 times out of 10, for me anyway, 10 times out of 10 is always cold in the airport, and it's always somewhat cold on the actual airplane. So I never like to wear skirts, and I don't even like to wear maxi skirts when I travel, because it can be quite uncomfortable, and sometimes if they're too long, they can drag on the airport floor, and that to me is kind of gross. And I don't like to wear shorts, because again, it gets uncomfortable and it gets cold. So wear something really comfortable. My favorite thing to wear are boyfriend jeans and flip-flops with a t-shirt, just like a t-shirt like this, because you're comfortable but you still look presentable. But in my carry-on, I like to pack a hoodie and some socks, because when I'm actually on the plane, especially our plane ride from Philadelphia to Frankfurt, which I cannot wait to go to Frankfurt Airport. I love that airport. And Joe said to me the other day, I think you're more excited to go to Frankfurt Airport than to get to Italy. I love that airport for some reason. I find like people from Germany, like all the people working in the airport, I just think they're beautiful people, and I don't know, there's just something about that culture that I love. And we go to this little restaurant in the airport called Houseman's, and we have breakfast there every morning. But anyhow, so it can be quite cold, because it's a long flight, and it's usually quite cold on the plane. My feet get really cold, and my upper body gets really cold. So I always pack a pair of socks. Make sure you pack an extra pair for the way home, and a hoodie, which I can wear on the way there, and I can wear on the way back. Another thing I want you to keep in mind is that if you're going to be, which I'm sure you do, we all do, you're going to be traveling with your cell phone and your laptop or whatnot, keep your chargers with you at all times. I don't like to put them in my purse because it gets all jumbled up. So what I like to do is I like to keep them in my carry-on so that they are handy at all times. So if my phone dies and I have to make a frantic phone call, or someone calls me and it's important, I don't have to worry about the fact that my cell phone charger is you know, in my checked luggage. Now, I'm well aware that you're not going to be on the plane receiving phone calls, but you never know. I mean, on the way to, I mean, in the airport, sometimes I'll have to call, well, Joe will have to call his dad, or, you know, you spend so many hours in the airport. Like, we have a 3-hour layover in Frankfurt. You spend so much time in the airport that you check your emails, you're reading something, you're reading a book on your Kindle or whatever you're reading. You want to just make sure that your chargers are handy just in case. So those are kind of my tips. Keep all your breakables with you. Keep your makeup with you so that it stays all in one piece. Something warm and comfy, you know, on hand at all times. And finally, make sure your chargers are with you so that you don't have to worry about your phone dying or anything. So anyway, those are kind of my must-haves in my carry-on at all times. But I will just now take you with me to my spare bedrooms. So what's up with this thunder? We've been having nothing but thunder and raining for the past like week. I want to take you with me in my spare bedroom and I will show you what I'm packing. Okay, so this is what my carry-on looks like. Now I've got on the left hand side, I've got my makeup bag. I've got my makeup bag with my brushes in it. This is my, like I've got my sunglasses in here. I like to pack an extra pair. I like to have my, my accessories are in here. So just basically like my jewelry, my sunglasses, I like to keep them with me. And then I do keep my curling iron and my, straightener in here as well because I have a thing about like cords all over, you know, just gets messy. So this is really neat. And then here, which I don't have right now, but here is where I'll have like my phone charger. I'll have my iPad charger because I'm gonna have my iPad in my purse, and then my charger for my watch, for my Apple Watch. So I'm gonna have those here, and then this closes up really nicely. Then on this side, this is actually for this is for my mom. She always has like the most weird requests, but I got this for her last year, and she loved them, and I think she gave them away to one of my aunts because they liked them, so she asked for them again. So these little inserts are made out of glass, so I like to pack them in here. They fit perfectly on the side. And then I've got extra pair of socks, one for the way there, one for the way back. These are actually Joe's socks because there's nothing better than really fluffy socks. And then I've got my neck pillow, I've got my mirror, and I've got my hoodie. I like to sandwich my mirror with my hoodie and my neck pillow because that way it won't break. But as you can see, it's not super stuffed, so I'm going to just zip this up and I'll show you the size of it and just kind of give you some info on why I choose this size carry-on for when I travel to Italy. This is what my little carry-on looks like. Now it's important that you, so you can see it's quite small, but it's important that you check online for the dimension. Like I Googled how big should carry-ons be for the Lufthansa flight, and I believe it needs to be about 21 inches in length and about 9 inches wide. It can't be any wider than that. So we measured this with a tape measure and it worked perfectly. So so yeah, this is what it looks like. It's easy, and I also like that it's a hard case because that way I don't have to worry about anything getting damaged, anything getting kind of, you know, destroyed in there, and it'll fit in the carry-on in the overhead compartment really well. So this is my carry-on, and so let's chit chat for a second. So I hope that you found that, you know, some sort of somewhat, I kept wanting to say somewhat, but I kept saying some comforting. I hope that you found that somewhat interesting or helpful. If you are planning to fly out of the country, make sure that you keep in mind that the size of your carry-on is very important, and it's got to be a small carry-on. It cannot be a really big one because it will not fit on your overhead space, and I learned that the hard way, which I didn't know, but now I know, so now I pack it in a small one. So I hope that you found that interesting. I hope that you found it helpful, and if you're going somewhere, let me know down below where you're going and some of your tips for must-haves, must-haves on hand for when you are traveling. And I know this goes without saying, but above all, just remember to keep your very, very basic things with you in your purse, like your passport, like your ID, and like your debit card, credit card, what have you. Don't put that anywhere that's not going to be right with you, because if that gets taken, then that's a whole other problem. So let me know if you found this helpful. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. Next video will be on what's in my suitcase, and I'm not going to share with you every single item I'm bringing. I'm just going to share with you some tips, like I kind of did on this video, on what I do to keep myself sane, not overpack, and just have a good old time. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!